As you can see, this is the entire uh, cast and crew and the two most important ladies who have actually produced this film. The film is called Kalki, as you all know. But I just thought, we rarely get an opportunity where, artists and producers can sit together and have a chat. So I thought maybe we'll just sit and talk. So, of course, my first thing, of course, is to Sapna ji and to Priyanka ji. How did you feel when Nagi said, this is was it Nagi's idea, or was it your idea, or what?
With Nagi around, I don't think we have a scope of any ideas, sir. It's always him. So, I mean, we've been obviously working together for a few years now, and every time a film gets over, it's about what are we doing next. And he just tells us a line. And then right after Manati, he took some time, after a year, he said, I have something. And then he just told the idea of it, which blew our minds. At that point of time, we really didn't understand the depth of it, what it needs to make this sort of a film. Only when we were going into it, we would understand, oh, this is his vision. In fact, we were all very excited to start off with, but then when we actually started, we were like, are we going to even help him enough? Are we like enough for him to make this film? Yeah. So that was one of our concerns. And then we really needed these big shoulders, like all of you, to come and carry a film of this stature.
Yeah. The thing that I really want to know is that when you see the scale of this film, as we've all seen and been involved in, I mean, what does a producer go through when they see all this huge scale and the kind of dream and the vision that he has? It's impossible to imagine that.
I think in the beginning, it took us time, sir. Like, for example, I mean, he told us a story, and I remember it was in the morning around 10 o'clock or 11, and it took us 2 days to get out of it. And then when we started pre-production, I think one day I called Swapna, and we were in it like 5 months into it, pre-production, and we were designing stuff and like trying. I called her and I was like, we're in it, and I'm not able to sleep because I don't know if we will be able to make it, because you have to make every single thing in this film, like pen to paper to every single thing. And their deadlines, they're big actors, and so we had like a lot of sleepless nights, and then we got into it. Once we're in it, we're like, we're in it.
It's like we didn't have time to think or breathe more after that. It's a cycle.
I'm actually most curious about Priyanka because there's so many conflicts for her as like a wife, as a sister, as a producer, and as the the lead on production. So there's so many different hats that you're wearing. So where do the lines?
Actually, for this film, I think for Mahanati we had lines because it's like a 1-year project. But this is 4 years. I think there are no lines. It's just like get go, like come on, war. It's. But it gets difficult, but also it gets very easy because when you're a family, so you're always talking about the project. You're always talking about what is next, what's the next schedule. So it definitely gets easy. But
flip side,
it has.
What I feel, Kamal, is really admirable is that we have two ladies, ladies looking after this massive production, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, some of the visuals you've already seen in the trailers, but to have two women actually in charge. Correct. And to see it executed, and today we sit here to talk about the film and the kind of production that it has come out, and the kind of visuals we've seen has never been seen before. I mean, it's just quite
I was just talking about Sholay.
Yeah.
It's like that, like nobody has seen horses fall like that.
Exactly.
Nobody has seen machine guns going off like that. And nobody has seen a villain talk like that or a hero behave like that. Everything was new about it. I think that's the same effect. And I know where you're getting the confidence from. Your father told me the story about how he became a producer. He just went and stood in front of NTR's house for so many days that he noticed this face and he said, why is this young man? He seems educated. And he called him in, and that's how the connection started, and he became a producer for NTR. And the name Vaijayanti film was given by Mr. NTR. So that's
what a wonderful story. We never knew all this.
No, that tenacity of purpose.
So also on this note, if we being, two women able to pull off something like this, it is entirely, I mean, of course, Nagi's, his vision, his absolute hard work, but also actors like you all who are extremely understanding and, you know, who understand the beauty of cinema and willing to give whatever it takes for cinema, and someone like Prabhas, who's not even questioning if it's just these two girls can pull it off or no, like, you know. So so it's thanks to you all for
It's not thanks to
making
me. I
this
think
happen.
when Nagi came to talk to me about this, he just brought a picture, a visual
Concept.
of, you know, what my character is going to look like and what Prabhas is going to look like. And I was this huge guy who's shoving off the Prabhas. And all the fans of Prabhas, please, you know, please excuse me, I'm haath jod ke maafi maang rahe hain, you know, don't massacre me after you see what I do to him in the film.
They're all your fans.
That was what was so impressive. I said, he's already got a vision in mind, and he's got a picture of what he's going to look like. Very rarely do you see.
But see, I've seen photo shoots or what do you call
storyboard.
Storyboard.
Yeah, it's never there on my time.
But I always suspect that because that's an ambition. What happens really? But when I ask that question, all that is fine. It's on paper. But how are you going to bring it? I said we have, and they showed me your footage. So I kept quiet. I just became part of the project because usually people come with big diagrams and the films don't even get made. So my question was that. Then I straight away went into what am I going to look like?
Yeah.
So I told you the story.
Yeah, we just heard the story.
I came up with the third eye and he said, it's done.
Yeah. It was the first trial for me. I don't know how the trial went for you. The makeup trial and the prosthetics and everything. And I was saying, oh God, another prosthetic film because I'd already done two before this and they're very painful.
Yeah,
but, you know, the 3 hours that it used to take to put on the prosthetic and then another hour and a half, 2 hours to take it off, it was all worth it. And now when we talk to, you know, people outside who don't know that, all of us that use prosthetics, it takes about 3 hours to put it on. And you have to just
and
be...
then taking it off.
Yeah, not move, don't do anything, cooperate with the makeup artist. It's not a torture really, but you know, a lot of people think it must be torturous.
It is a
Requires a
torture,
lot
sir.
of-
You know, we know.
Once you know that what the final result is going to be...
it is a torture if the movie is not good enough.
Yeah, I agree.
But the movie is good enough,
It's all worth it.
it's not, because you're already imagining the applause.
No, what I was saying, Kamal, was that the day I put on my makeup for the first day and went on to the set, I knew that this was worth it. You know, the moment you sit on a scene, you see the set, you see what's happening, it's just, I knew it was all worth it.
I think I remember we were doing puja and you finished your makeup and we were doing, I think we were just doing something and you just walked in like that. With the whole thing, you were there and we were like,
Pin drop, silent, stunned.
It's like
just
stunned, yeah.
too good, sir.
But that's all credit to, you know, the people who dress you up and make you up.
No,
There's
everything,
no
I mean.
credit to the
And imagine
artists who do
all that has happened before. You walking into the set and now I have to come in. Oh, boy, what am I going to do?
No, but
But I got a call when you walked on to set. I remember Nagi calling me and just that first day of shoot with you, and Nagi called me and said, I just had to call and tell you that we shot our first day with Kamal sir. And I was like, I
He
missed
never
it.
told
but
me.
He called me. I was in
happened to
Bombay, and it was a long break because I mean, obviously we were shooting in different schedules, and I hadn't heard from him in a while. And I see this missed call from Nagi. I was like, what has happened? I just called to tell you we shot our first day with Kamal sir, like a child.
That's what made this film.
yeah.
That
child.
child.
yeah.
We hope this child will also make it one day.
So you
Prabhas,
were
you know, you've always been very quiet and simple and don't give many reactions on set, but you know, but somebody of your stature who is now presently, I've always wondered how you feel or how you felt when Nagi came and said this to you.
When Nagi said first time...
Because when I first met him, and we met on set and all that, we went through this whole procedure of who's going to touch whose feet. So he came and said, so I'm just touching your feet. So then I said, okay, let's stop it here. You know what, this whole business. And then in a very quiet, private moment, he said, sir, be prepared to break a few bones and this and that. I've been, this guy has made me break bones here, there, and I've been jumping here and there in Bahubali and so on and so forth. So I was wondering, how is it going to happen? But you know, that's the detailing that I was talking about, you know, your father. He's so simple, so down to earth. You can't believe he's there on set every day.
He's the first person.
And he's actually monitoring what the artist is being asked to do. Hey, don't put this, don't make him do this because that's tough for him. But the way Nagi programmed everything, you know, he said, sir, don't worry, we'll just use close-ups and we've got, you know, dupes and we've got harnesses.
And it is not about the number of cameras or number of crew.
Exactly, yeah.
It's the quietness of the set which I enjoyed most.
I remember the message.
Because that's lacking in most sets.
Yeah.
The noise should be inside and in the theatres, not in the set. So everybody is talking in discipline, which I found that Mr. Nagi could speak in his volume and still be heard.
Yeah.
He mumbles, but he's still heard in the set because that's how quiet the set is.
I ask these questions, you know, because in my time we never had all these facilities. So if we had to jump from the second floor, we actually jumped. There were no harnesses, you break your ankle, you break your leg and everything. So it was a wonder for me how they were going to be able to do it. But you know, I just marvel at the technology now. You know, Kamal, you must have been through a lot of all this earlier on.
I think we have invested by breaking so many bones now.
We never had these facilities, you know, Prabhas.
Yes, sir.
Never
We
had
know.
them. And to be able to now be part of it. And to have, you know, little cameras like this who are recording everything on digital. For us, as you may be knowing that, you know, celluloid film was the most expensive item in the budget of a film. Because it was not available, it used to get imported from Kodak. And to save celluloid film, you had to be sure that your first take was okay.
Yeah, that's a reputation.
You can't make a mistake. I mean, I remember Rishida used to say, Rishida, just one take. No, first is okay. He's saving celluloid, but he's also satisfied with it. And if you insisted that, take, you pay for it. You know, it's like that. We never had an opportunity to see, you know, what they call monitors.
No,
and we were not allowed to go near the camera also. You have to pay a fine if we were...
they'll all applaud.
If you got a chance to look through the...
Nothing, never allowed. Not even allowed to go to the editing room. I mean, it was impossible. You saw yourself for the first time on the day of the release of the film. So all this has been a huge experience and a learning for all of us. Which is why, you know, and Prabhas, I'm very sorry, all his fans.
The first time when we had a fight, you caught me here, and I thought like...
In the movie.
In the movie. So I thought like, Amitabh sir, I need to be careful and all. He caught me so hard, and this man is not whatever he's saying. He's some 25, 26. And I told him, he's so strong.
No, but a lot of things we did, you know, we never ever expected we could manage this. And that is what is so intriguing with you.
I think also the sets, I think for the audience to know that we eventually, if I may say,
Built a city.
Built
Cities,
land
worlds,
and built a city. And I think the fact that Nagi today has a vision where once the movie releases, I think fans of the movie can actually go and
And the
visit
vision
the
is
set.
unique because the way they places the camera is not like we are used to. He comes quite close to look at you.
Too soft.
And that's what you enjoy because how do you act for cameras here?
Yeah.
So how
in our time, it used to be a challenge, Kamal. You know, and I still remember that one of the challenges for an artist used to be to give a close-up with a 75mm lens on a Mitchell camera, which was huge. This huge monster used to come and stand here with a lens, and you have to do a close-up.
And it's a rack shift camera.
Yeah.
You can
So
hear
even
it.
the cameraman is not actually looking at the image, but is looking at parallax.
Was
Parallax,
and
yes,
they didn't have monitors.
No
Nothing,
man, no monitor.
Nothing.
Oh.
And
So we're
the,
not used to, not seeing the director standing next to us on the set. We're always used to see where the camera is, the director, then he's guiding us.
Yeah.
We're not used to that. You just hear a voice somewhere, 2 miles away,
My
maybe shouting or whatever it is. But really, Deepika, you've done so many films, and I will say that you're a modern age artist. So
no, not only that, in the West. it has been
exactly,
there.
yeah.
So I think
How do you-
nothing
biggest
else
international
surprised
ads
me
ever
like it does.
anyone ever did. Louis
No, but it must
Vuitton.
have been.
Keep quiet.
It must have been a hell of an experience for you.
No, I think what I was processing as I heard the two of you speak is in terms of where we were, filmmaking and technology,
Yeah.
to now for all of us to be a part of a movie where I think every kind of technology that is available in the world today is probably at our disposal through this movie. And the fact that we have a director who's used it so intelligently, and also to find that balance, because also with AI and things like that, I think you can also lose the soul of performances, but I think to be able to find that balance between technology that's available to you but to also keep the performances real, I think is what makes this movie and this experience very special.
Yeah. Some of the visuals of the sets, we were either against a green screen or just close up, we never know. But quite honestly, for the first time, I've seen
The visuals.
the surroundings,
Correct.
and it's just unbelievable. And my God, I always wonder how Nagi had this vision.
That's what I was saying. It was all in his mind.
No, and even for us who like breathe in, breathe out with him every day, we'd be like sometimes, what are we shooting? Which scene are we shooting? What are we
what
doing?
we've created is only like the 30% of the set. Like for example, where you guys were fighting, it's just the bridge where we shot for
Correct,
a long
but now
time.
you see
but
the
now
whole
there's a
world
whole
coming.
city there. So,
When we watch the world, we started watching some of the CG shots and fully built sets, we're like, wow, this is what this man had in his head, fully there. Like he knew what he was doing.
I think she knew what he was doing.
No,
What
I
did
would
your
just peep
husband
into
tell
the edit
first?
room, I'm like,
The first sentence, what did he say
just-
about the film? The first, when he's like, he should tell you first.
No, Nagi's, the biggest expression would be like,
No,
it's
the
good.
first time when he told about the story or the movie, what he want to make. He told you first, I think, as I remember.
Yeah, so basically he just said like, I have
this
this
is the
story,
time.
one word, he just said like, there's a small story that I really like,
Small.
but there's another one, but there's another one, which is like a really like something that I would do at another stage, but if I don't do this now,
then I might not
then
be
I
able,
might
to,
not
do
be
it
able
again.
to do it again.
And then he
Yeah,
for some
so-
reason
so I
went
said
on
that,
saying in his own words, I'd say, that this is something India deserves now. We will have to tell this sort of storytelling in India. We have to have our own, stories like this.
Yeah.
So this has been there with him for the longest time. And apparently he wanted to do it with Prabhas like ages back. I said like, I don't even know how.
First film you want to do with me, he
apparently
told me.
with this film, and then
No, the fact that we are able to mix mythology with something futuristic
Correct.
is so unique
Yeah, it's unique, sir.
and very intelligent.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
intelligent. Most of India, all of India recognizes our mythology and our history and our culture and whatever our traditions.
And what could go wrong?
And what could go wrong. Yes. But to be able to bring that and make it sound real, we'll be disclosing a lot of the story if we do that, but the fact is that by the end of the film, you will actually believe what you saw. And that is the vision that, will make the success of the director, of the production and the film also. But Prabhas, you worked in similar subjects earlier also.
This is like this.
Bahubali, for example, was
periodic.
was a little periodic.
This
but
is future.
Here there is period and the future mixed together.
Yeah,
It's just, it must have been a
And my
experience.
character is like, it has a lot of it has grey, superhero, funny. So I
Also, the
think
first time you have humor. One of the
humor I
first few
did for
times.
like before Bahubali I did, but for other than Telugu I think this is first time they're watching me in humor, funny character with superhero with grey shade. So I think the way he wrote, I think this is the best character ever in my life. The way he wrote it.
And also I have to say that, you know, one of the most difficult casting ever was Kamal sir.
Kamal sir, yeah,
Was
he was so
Yaskin.
worried
For
about
We
it.
were
months,
like, you know, we were
thinking-
shooting, but then like Yaskin, when is Yaskin coming? The whole film is Yaskin, but where is Yaskin? And how would you cast this person who's equivalent to, or like, you know, mightier than these two superheroes? And then who is it? And then we could only think, we were like, we were
behind for
one year, sir, easily 1
year,
year.
easily
Easily 1
behind.
year.
And I was telling, why will he do it? Don't torture him. Just leave.
It's not a question of torture because I self-doubt becomes, you know, you've done this, he has done this, he has done this, what am I going to do? You know, that was the reason why
Nagi also
I
like-
realized. And it's not that I've played bad guys before, even as a lead bad guy, psychopaths and all that, but this is something else.
Yeah. First time, we are lucky to have Kamal sir.
The detailing of the equipments that are going to be there, like the bus, for example. And the car,
We had
Buji, for
a auto.
example. And I didn't know that Buji was made in India.
It is fully
Made by
early
Mahindra
made
and one
in
of the,
India. It was made by Mahindra and J Motors, and also a lot of young Indian engineers. A lot
It's
of
just
young,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Many a times I used to ask Nagi when I went on the set and said, okay, how did you think of this? So he said, there are companies that, you know, that have think tanks, and we gave them the idea, and they come up with projections, and then we approve something.
Even for a storyboard, you came up with a new guy. I suggested somebody.
Correct, sir.
We even tried that.
Correct, sir, yes.
It's not that they have a team and they'll never try anything new. Because we tried, we didn't like it.
Yes.
We came back.
For your
So
look,
there was still experimentation.
Yes.
Even my look, I don't know, it must have changed about 5 times at least. Costume,
Agreed,
look, everything.
No, and also Nagi is very fortunate to be working with you two, especially at your stature. You're willing to experiment with him. You're willing to explore things with him. You know, so in one of the interviews which we just did, they said, was it a big pressure? You know, shooting with Bachchan sir and Kamal sir. He said, initially, I was like, I found it very funny and silly that I would actually direct both of them. then, you know, it felt so easy because they both said, don't make me an Amitabh Bachchan, don't make me a Kamal Haasan. Do something else with us. He had the same notion with both of you all, and, you know, he enjoys working with you both so much. Absolute no pressure. I'm like, you are directing them, and he has no pressure on his face. So, I think it's a great synergy.
I don't know about him, but it's terrible to be able to even think like this. You know, I don't want to play myself. But what is myself? I'm not me. I mean, with all due respects, we are all fakes in front of the camera anyway. We're playing fake characters. And, the writer is a true genius. He dreams, he thinks. But all of us are fake. So, what is it about me? It's nothing. It's just something that you've seen in a visual in a film. It's not that this is how we are.
But Abhijit, that's a gyan you get after 20-25 years.
And Deepika, first time you're doing a Telugu film, it's like completely different from the Bollywood, or little different, or very, very different.
No, I mean, I
And
think...
Nagi is very different for us also, because in the first story when he told me, I could hear only 20%. Other part I asked my friends, like, what did he say? I didn't understand. So he's like, it should have been tough for you from Bollywood to this.
No, I mean, I think that world of the movie, which I think is new, even for the audience, it's new. But I think as actors, you're not really thinking. I think when you emote, the language, I think, comes secondary. It's
No, the language is a
emotion
problem.
is what, and I think that's the language of cinema, right? It's transcends borders. So you can act in English, you can act in Telugu, you can act in Hindi, but I think as long as the emotion, you can just say so much with your eyes without saying anything at all and be able to convey that emotion.
And you can show the best
The
with your
words
eyes.
are more like a crutch, I feel. So, no, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm now working in Telugu cinema, or, it didn't feel overwhelming in that sense. Because what you're investing in as an actor is the emotional journey of the character.
But for a production of this value and extent, what I found was that until Nagi got the right thing at the right place, he never compromised.
Yeah, he doesn't. Sir.
If he did something
He
with
has a
you,
beautiful way of getting what he wants.
yeah,
Very smooth.
he won't
very-
shout from there.
No.
No.
He'll come up very quietly.
Correct.
So I think we should.
But very pertinent.
Yes.
Very pertinent. It's not just asking
It's
for
not
one
just.
more.
And
It'll
even
be-
after seeing the rushes, Kamal, there are times when he said, sir, I feel we can improve on that and do something. And as producers, how do you live with this fact? Hey, we've got to redo this thing. We've got to put up the set again.
the
We've got to
biggest
get the
budget of-
artists back. We've got to get the timing and the dates. And never have I seen any kind of, regret or a very morose kind of face. And, hey, we got to do it again. This guy's not worried about the
The
cost.
costliest picture I feel.
I think
I really marvel at that.
I think in the cave set, the first set that we shot, so we finished the schedule. I think we shot for 4 days or 5 days, and we were like almost done. And we were like, okay, so this is done. So then it was like, take those 3 pillars and take the flooring. I'm like, why, we're done, right? So then I was like, I didn't understand. So then after 4 months, we were shooting that same thing. So then I was like, okay, so from every
is
set,
this
I know what to keep. So I'm sure there will be something or the other
Now, I
that
must
Nagi will
tell
go
a
back.
story about how
Nagi will go
producers feel happy when big artists like that lend themselves to the show. Shivari Saab had not worked for a year. He came to act in Tevarmakam. We did the scenes. So for him it's very new to see something on a computer.
Correct.
So
That's right.
I was showing off and I showed him in a computer the cut version of the scene. Can I stay one more day? He said, one more day? Yeah, you can. What? Can you do all those close-ups? It looks very amateurish. I said, I thought he's talking about me.
Yeah.
He said, me, I have not acted for 1 year. It shows.
Oh, gosh.
How can you refuse a man like that?
yeah.
I said, if I had to rebuild the set, I would have built it for him. So, the director is asking for something. That's what I said, the word pertinent I used was,
Yes, yes.
when he tells you, you're convinced. You're not asking, what do you want? Please tell me what you want. Keeping on, taking after take, what do you really want? But he clearly tells you, and you say, yes, that's what I should have done. And that's very rare in a
Amazing.
director. Very few have that. When that happens, the set lights up, even without lights.
But to be working, in the kind of circumstances that we did because of the
COVID and
way films are being shot now, it's a huge challenge a huge challenge for me. I'm sure Kamal, you must be feeling the same thing. But not to have that environment around you and to be able to imagine that.
Yeah.
It's
very
a little
difficult.
putting off in the beginning, but then when you see a couple of results, then you get used to it. But for us, it was
Like I was just telling backstage, my mentor, Mr. K. Balachandar, I went and told him a story which I saw Rishida and he, between shot, light up, they used to be playing chess. Both the lead man and the director will be playing chess and the unit will be waiting. And he'll say, okay. And then they'll go to the shot. I came back and told my boss that that's how calm a shot should be. Are you trying to tell me something? I said, yes, sir. You're so excited. And I am nervous. What do you expect with you guys in the set? I am nervous. No, but it catches on. It's contagious. And we don't want that. But that's very important.
But you know what is really admirable, and I've said it so many times, is the kind of discipline that we see in the South. I'm sure that you will agree with that.
No, but
That discipline
the grass
just
is always
unbelievable.
greener.
Right from the spot boy to the director to the co-artist, there's a kind of discipline which I can't put in words.
I feel humility.
Despite who they are and what they are,
No, but I noticed
to
something.
show that kind of humility and down-to-earthness is, well, not expected at all.
To be the first person there and the last person, and like sir was saying, not just
We used to
I think
complain
humility-
about Tamil industry and point out the Telugu industry as an example for discipline. But then Nagi told me something which made me very happy. When I was an assistant director, they used to say, look at this Tamil assistant director. So I was a Tamil assistant director. So was it about me? It can't be. But I think there are so many things I learned from Bombay. Like he was saying, we used to actually jump off buildings, showing off. And the safety factors, first I learned from Bombay.
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised. Amiji says, I'm surprised at all these safety factors. But after Sholay, even horses had padded falls.
Yeah.
Even heroes didn't have that kind of fall. There, we started from there, and for me, it's a fantastic journey. I'm a child of cinema. I came when I was 3. I came with the live sound, went to dubbing, and back to live sound. Now it's a full cycle. And as she was saying, he makes use of all the gizmos when it's needed. I don't see somebody flashing all the gadgets he has. He uses it precisely, and it's a quiet set. That's what I liked about it.
That's because he's organized in his mind as to what he wants.
Yeah, what's
And
not
the rest of the unit follows him. That is important. I mean, they admire him, they honor him, and
Made the
And
whole
I think some of the assistants working actually belong to film families. That I realized. I didn't know who was who.
The bunch of kids are all first timers,
All
and he
kids.
always
Yeah.
prefers
Yeah.
to.
I know his sister.
His
She- she's
sister is
assistant.
working with him.
I was scared with her because one day we were
their
shooting with him,
sisters.
and he
That I
says, "Oh, she's
later
my
on
sister."
realized.
Yeah, one
When we were
sister.
young, she used to box me. After that, I started looking with a lot of respect. मेरे को मत मारना है.
He's extremely keen only on working with first timers. He feels they're going to bring something onto the table that
Something new.
something new.
Fresh.
So he's very, very clear about
No,
it.
you yourself are a second generation thing. You had somebody in
yeah,
the family.
my sister. Yeah.
No,
Krishna
before
Raj
you,
garu. His uncle, sir.
Uncle.
Krishna
My
Raj
uncle.
garu,
Oh.
yeah.
I worked with him
Yeah, you are.
as an assistant. So I was a dance assistant. So his uncle,
Yeah.
and he was not much of a dancer, so he used to. Don't give me this moment. He used to threaten me. Take me aside during breakfast and threaten me about the moment.
this is what I can do now. This is the step you teach me.
No, but this is so amazing, sir, that, what cinema has done for all of us in the last few years is, it actually, there are no boundaries anymore. That we all can come back from, wherever we are, from the part of the country, and able to make one cinema, which is Indian cinema, which is incredible. And people like Nagashwin are able to dream to do this because they're able to pull talent from all across and get them and, make
It's like the
something
national
this.
flag.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a national pool
Absolutely.
of talent which we should stand up and
Yeah,
salute.
Yeah,
And
well
all
said,
of
well
us
said, yeah.
need to do that. And we do that, more films like this could be made.
Absolutely, sir.
A lot of times, at my age, and people say, sir, when are you going to do a film something like Hollywood? I tell them, when is Hollywood going to do a film something like us? Come and make something that we do. Sir, nani yaad aa jayegi. What we have to go through and the kind of stories that we build, because ours is, pan-India. And it's very tough what we do and how we make our films. Okay, so sometimes people ridicule us and laugh at us and so on and so forth. But there is always some element which you will always learn in all our films.
Yes.
And I keep saying this story over and over again. My father, during his last years, every evening, he used to be, he used to bring him on his wheelchair and he used to sit and he said, put on a movie. He used to see a movie. So many times, my own ones, 3-4 times. And one day I asked him, what is this here? Every evening you are going and seeing a movie. He said, I get to see poetic justice in 3 hours. You will not get poetic justice in a lifetime. And many of us in several lifetimes will not get. But I see poetic justice. That's what Indian cinema is all about.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
You get to see poetic justice in 3 hours. No matter what you may say about us, at the end of the day, you will go back with some moral, with some ethics, which is cultural, which is Indian.
Beautiful.
And I can tell you, people are going to be shocked when they see Kalki with the kind of effort that has been put in. And these visuals are just unbelievable.
Yes.
And I was just seeing some comments on the net, which is very heartening. So, like exactly what you said about India's ready for it, and they are, because they are owning it up, and they're saying,
Great.
nice, we deserve to see such films.
Great.
Yay!
This is the silence that we have on the sets. We have nothing more to say because we are fully
Now we have to
satisfied.
redo this because this light was off.
Oh shit.
Hey, light band ho gayi?
CG में करेंगे.
It's on the TV.
No, I'm just
So if there's anything else, Swapna, Priyanka ji, if you want to, ask us or say something.
I think we just
or
want to
express
thank
something.
you.
Prabhas,
We
you
just
haven't
want to
spoken
thank
at all.
you. Thank you
It is not unusual because normally you don't say much.
Sir, you
He
and
is
sir.
maintaining the pregnant silence of the director.
Yeah.
I'm imitating my director.
I think we're only extremely thankful, sir, all of us, extremely grateful
No, these are
for
just
what has
formalities. You
happened
don't-
to us.
don't
No,
do
no,
that.
no. This is truly from the heart because not on a regular day, not on it doesn't, something like this doesn't happen to everybody and just happen to us. We're very, very grateful. That's because I feel my father's invested so much of his life into cinema and I feel cinema is giving back it to us. It's as simple as that. Yeah.